Hey guys, so crazy couple of weeks, as I'm sure it is for everybody. Done a few things that I never thought we'd ever do. One of them is caught up with all our wedding editing. So yep, all done, all delivered. Yep, hasn't been like this for years, so absolutely fantastic feeling. I've also dug 3 tons of sand and soil out of our garden and replaced it. I've built a scarecrow, which I never thought in my life I would ever build a scarecrow. And if I say so myself, I built a pretty mean scarecrow. So, the other surprising thing that I've done over the past couple of weeks is I've bought a zoom lens. Yep, that's right, you heard it. Now, for the past 5 years, I've been using primes pretty much exclusively. We've been prime ever since we went to Sony, shot nothing else, but now we've had a bit of time to think about the way we shoot and to mix up our gear a bit, to really review what we kind of want to shoot, the way we want to shoot, the most efficient ways we can shoot it. I am thinking, like, for filming, I think a zoom might be the way forward for us. For photography, I will always shoot primes. Like my 35 that I'm filming on right now will always be kind of my focal length for photography, the one that I really kind of relate to, the one which I find the most kind of powerful and engaging for storytelling. And I do love it for film as well. But sometimes when the action is fast and you don't have time to kind of change lenses about for film, I do find myself missing kind of the flexibility of a zoom lens that I used to shoot on 10, 11 years ago when I was first getting into photography. So with Sony, you have a few different options for standard zoom lenses, and you know, that's great. Choice is great, but it is also very confusing. Now, the cheapest possible is the Sony Zeiss 2470 f4. Now, that doesn't get the best reviews. Although it is the cheapest, it is the smallest, it is the lightest, and you know, it fits a lot of criteria for us. It didn't get amazing reviews, so I kind of skipped that one over, and I maybe regret it a little bit. Next up, we have the Tamron 2875 2.8. My reservations about that were 28 isn't my favourite focal length. Let's just put that out there. I much prefer 24. There's not an awful lot of difference, but I do find 24s a lot more kind of natural field of view for me rather than 28. So that, I don't think I would have been particularly happy sticking at 28. So now we get onto the big boys. The Sony 2470 GM is a bit of a beast, weighs nearly a kilo, is the biggest and heaviest option out there. The colours are beautiful from it, the focus seems really great, it seems really well built and a really good investment. It is the most expensive of the bunch though. The cheapest I found was about £1,700, which, you know, it's a good investment, but, you know, it's not really something I want to be kind of spending a lot of cash on in these uncertain times, and I don't think I could balance it on my Weeble Lab at all, so that one's kind of out the window. And a similar story for the Sigma 2470 Art 2.8 as well. Looks absolutely fantastic, looks super sharp, not that that's that important. Colours look good, I've had Sigma Art lenses in the past. Yeah, again, it comes down to a kind of price and weight thing. It's very new out, so there are no deals on it at the moment, which at the moment, in these cash-strapped times, I'm sure we're all looking for the best deals, so that went out the window as well. Which left one more choice, bit of a left field one, which is the Sony 24-105 G OSS, which is the one that I bought, and yesterday, quite late, it arrived. So I'd like to have a look at that together. Now, this doesn't really seem like the obvious choice if you're looking for a standard lens. It's slow, it's quite big, it's quite expensive. Yeah, why the hell did I buy this? Now, over the past few days, like I said, I've been catching up on the wedding editing, so I've had a chance to go through quite a lot of photos from the early days of when I first picked up a camera and started experimenting and started to get into photography. Now, I shot everything in my Nikon days on 18-135 and crop sensor. When I went to Canon full frame on the original 5D, I actually got the 24-105 f4 with stabilization as my kit lens. And I loved it. I really did. It was a great lens. when we started shooting weddings professionally, I actually sold that and we went to all primes because I didn't think I'd get on with f4 for photography. You know, was that a mistake? I don't know, but I've enjoyed shooting primes so far. So again, it's a bit of a nostalgia thing for me, but I went for the 24-105 because I like the zoom range. I normally shoot on 35, 50 and 85. So this has some overlap and it is slower than my primes, but it does give me 24 and it does give me 105. And in Super 35 crop for film, that gives me, what, 160mm at the long end, and it gives me 37.5 at the wide end. So that's a really kind of good zoom range for us. It's also got stabilization, so it means that I'm probably going to be able to hand hold a lot better than with my primes. It's also, and this is counterintuitive for me because I always go on about small and light being like the absolute ultimate, but this is actually a heavier lens, and for one reason I really want to try hand holding more for film, doing little bits of movement and stuff like that, and I always find my handheld shots on my really lightweight primes are a little bit shaky, and that's because the weight's kind of in the wrong place. If the weight is at the body end, then you're kind of, let me get a camera. Right, so here we have an A7 body with one of our normal lenses for shooting, which is a 55 1.8. Now, it's a super lightweight lens, and if you kind of balance that, all the weight is at the body end. So all this weight is in your hand. So when you're hand holding, you're manipulating the camera with the side that's got all the weight in it. So that makes you naturally wobbly. Every time you press a button, you shake. Every time you kind of go to adjust your grip or press something or look at the screen, you naturally kind of shake a little bit because this side is really light, this side is really heavy. So yeah, it's not amazing for hand holding unless you're like dead locked on like that. So I'm hoping by shifting some of the weight to this end, we can balance that out and then we can get some stabler kind of shots, if that's a word. That's a word now. Okay, so here it is, the 24-105 G OSS. OSS is for optical stabilization something. Don't know, I'll have to have a look. So let's see what we get in the box. So, oh, everything's in one big plastic pouch except for the instruction manual. Don't think we really need to bother with that. So, take it out and, oh, it comes in the same kind of leatherette pouch that I think our 55 1.8 came in one of these. Yeah, nice for storage, not very handy for going out shooting because there's no straps on it, there's no zip closing or anything like that, but yeah, it's quite a nice thing. And here's the lens, put that down. So immediately, this is the biggest, heaviest lens that we own now. Yeah, this is quite a lot bigger. Now for comparison, if I show you the 55 1.8 and then this, it dwarfs it, and that's, I think it extends when it zooms as well, so yeah, it is quite a lot bigger, it's quite a lot fatter. This is a 49mm filter thread and this is a 77mm filter thread, so we're going back up to like the big sizes now. Yeah, so lens hood, I don't tend to use lens hoods just because I find that kind of shading it with my hand if I need to is far more effective. Lens cap, I don't really use lens caps, so that's going to stay in the box as well. So yeah, big front element. Just show you around the lens. So we've got zoom ring on this side, we've got a focus ring on this side. We've got the autofocus manual focus switch and the optical steady shot on and off. And we've got the now requisite focus hold button, which you can also program to whatever you want really. Eye focus is a useful thing. Focus hold is also useful, especially in film, so that's good. So this is zoom to 24 and then that's zoomed to 105. So yeah, it extends probably another 30-ish%, maybe a little more, so I'm not sure how that's going to go trying to balance it on the gimbal, but we'll certainly see. Now the zoom action, there's a lot of glass to move around in there. It's quite a heavy lens, so it's not like super smooth, but at the same time I don't feel like, let's just put it, yeah, it's at 50, so if we put it like straight up and straight down, the zooms of old that I was used to creep, and that's staying exactly where it is. So maybe they put that stiffness in there to kind of help. And let's put it at full extension and point it straight up. No movement at all. Nothing. That's quite impressive. Now the focus ring, that is really nice. That's like a proper manual focus feel. Is that? That's like super slippy. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. That's a lot better than I imagined. Now let's get on a body and see what the relative size and weight are like. So, lens mount is really shiny. Look at that. I've not owned a new lens for quite some time now. I bought the 35 last summer, but yeah. See, immediately that feels very heavy to me because I'm used to like tiny lightweight lenses like that. But I suppose, yeah, I'm used to shooting kind of almost one-handed with just a bit of support. But the way to shoot with a heavier lens is to put your hand under, support the weight, and then just use this to manipulate the camera. And that's exactly, yeah, that's exactly how I remember it, except this is better because the A7 is lighter than the old Canons that we shoot on. So yeah, that's going to be good. So all the weight's in your hand. This is just to manipulate this, so you're holding the camera steady here. I think that's great. Yeah, this is quite, yeah. This is big and heavy compared to what we're used to, but at least it isn't the GM weight. Like, this is a full extension at 105. Yeah, this is going to take some getting used to, but I think this is going to be really good. So, what else can I say about it? Build quality seems top-notch. It is all plastic. I don't have a problem with that at all. You know, metal lenses scratch, they dent, plastic lenses bounce. So worst case scenario, you know, that's that. I think this front section here is all metal, so the filter threads aren't going to wear out, so that's good. Lens mount at the back is the standard kind of polished steel or whatever it is. Yeah, overall, this is a top quality lens. I mean, it's similar build quality, I guess, to any of the primes that we've got. It's got the different look to like the Zeiss primes, which are like this sleek kind of metally exterior with plastic insides. But yeah, nice kind of engraved plate here, rather than just kind of printed onto the barrel. They're actually kind of embossed on a little plate that goes round, so that's quite a nice touch. And yeah, that's about it for a first impression. I can't wait to go out and shoot with this. Obviously at the moment I'm just going to be shooting around the house with it, trying to get used to having a zoom and the possibilities that opens up for me. I think I've got a 77mm filter for it actually, that I kept from selling all our old Canon gear a couple of years ago. So I'm going to fish that out, I'm going to put that on, I'm going to get out maybe in the garden, do a bit of shooting, and see what I think, see what I get on with f4. I mean, our slowest lens at the moment is 1.8, so going from 1.8 to f4, is that going to bother me? Who knows? But yeah. Right, so that's it for this initial thoughts and unboxing review on the Sony FE24-105 f4 G OSS. I think it's great so far. Yeah, I'm really impressed with the build quality. I think it's going to be a good addition to our kit. I can't wait to go out and shoot with it and yeah, see what we can create. So if you'd like this video, give it a like. I'd really appreciate you subscribing to the channel if you like this video. It means a lot to me, and I've got a lot of great videos coming up with kit, some reviews, some real world stuff, and I've got a couple of kind of little videos that I've put together as well, just to show the kind of thing that we do outside of weddings. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time, guys. See you later.